Welcome back to another video on Python. And today I'm using pythontutor.com/visualize so that I can show you how a while loop works. So I'm going to go ahead and paste a while loop in here. And as you notice, I've got a counter. So my count equals 0. So I've initialized it and it will increment count plus equals 1 every time it goes through the while. So our while says while count is less than or equal to 4. Print count, so the value of what count is. We then get count plus equals 1, so take count, add it to itself, so take count. So take count, and it will be the same as if we had written count equals count plus 1. So I'm commenting this out so that it doesn't show in the code, but count. We'll take whatever the value it is now, 0, add 1, put it back in here, it's now 1. I'm going to remove that just so that we don't have it mess up our code. So now that we've got, it will loop through 4 times, telling us what it is, and then when it's done, it will print. So when it gets to be 4, it should be done. So I'm going to go ahead down here and go visualize execution. And it changes my screen. And I'm seeing over here on the left is my code, and I've got count. We're starting at the count, or the initializer, the sentry variable, if you want to call it from the book. I can edit the code, or I can step through it. It has 18 steps, if you notice. It's already calculated that out. And over here, we have a line that has just been executed. None of them have been just executed. And next line to execute, and we're going to execute the count. So forward, we step through 1. On the right-hand side, it's saying, this is a global variable. It wasn't defined inside of a function. We'll talk more about globals later, but at the moment you need to know that a global variable is accessible anywhere in the code, and it was declared outside of a function. So globally count is 0 at the moment. Next we're going to run the while, and it's going to say, okay, is count less than 4 or less than or equal to 4? Yes, so it goes forward 1. It prints the count, or is the next thing it's going to do. Here's our print. The program output is 0. We go one more. It incremented our count to 1. It's gone back to check in the while loop. While count is less than or equal to 4. It's going to go the while loop next. It checked it. It's now going to print next. So print count. Let's see. It does that. We get 1. It increments by 1. We'll notice that our counter on the right-hand side will change to 2. The while loop is going to check it next. It checks it. It's not 4 yet. It prints it. We get the printout down on the bottom of the screen, the lower left. It increments it again. Its now count is 3, and it continues. And it will do that until it has reached the point where, hey, look, it's 5 now. The count is 5. While count is less than or equal to 4, so it fails. And it drops down to print. So it should print done next. It prints done. And that's kind of how that counter works. So I thought that was a really interesting thing to be able to check out and just have a look at. That is kind of how the while loop with an incrementer works and how it steps through. So I thought that would be a nice visualization of that. And we'll go on and do something else later. All right, so I will see you guys in another video.